Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren. It's my pleasure to be joined by and sit down, have a few moments with the senior Ebro, EKevin of the Animals. How are you tonight, good sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm thankful for you to sit down and talk with us a little bit going into HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series 3. You and I had a chance to speak recently with Etope, your brother, on HeroesHype Live. But for those who haven't yet seen, you want to give a short introduction to yourself, and also give us a little bit of background about Animals as a team.
Sure. Hi, I'm EKevin. Me and my brother play Heroes of the Storm. We've been around for a little bit. Uh, we played for UTA for 2017 dorms and we won. So yeah.
It's cool.
For our team, the Animals, it's just a group of friends we put together and we were like, hey, it's too late to do open and like we should do something. So we just got together and made Animals and just we played in the last few opens, but like we didn't have enough time to accrue points, but we made it for the Heroes Hype finals. So yeah.
Cool, man. Like you said, the Animals is a team that's largely a group of friends, but in spite of that, you guys play at a consistently high level. We're coming up on the end of the HGC Open Division with the Crucible taking place this weekend. One of your big rivals over the course of this season, Team Numerics, actually placed fourth in the Open Division. Has that affected your drive as a competitive player? To see a team that you rumble against with consistently here at HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series make it to the top four, does that fuel you to want to try to show up for the next Open Division and put together a more serious team?
Uh, Kind of. I'm really good friends with Kwanzaa, one of the players. I met him at the Heroes of the Dorm event, the LAN at Las Vegas. So we got to meet up, hang, chill. Like we became really good friends after that. So like on the side, I really support him. Like I want him to do well, whether it's the Open, Heroes Hype, or if he plays in the next dorm tournament. Like I'm there to root and cheer for him. But on the flip side, yeah, it kind of makes me want to like try to kind of try hard and like see like if we can better them kind of.
No, I definitely get it. I mean, it's cool to hear that you've developed this friendship with Kwanzaa because like you said, you guys ran into each other at the Heroic Four this year's Heroes of the Dorm. I really like the idea that you guys have formed a friendship and that you're there to support him for next year. I do believe Kwanzaa is looking to take part in next year's Heroes of the Dorm. So having the 2017 champion in your corner is never a bad thing in that situation, I'd say. But for the Animals in particular, like I said, you guys clash with Team Numerics weeks 1 and 2. Some of the most entertaining amateur Heroes action I think we've had so far, HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series. You go through a bit of a roster change, and that affects the overall standings to a degree, but you had a really strong showing for week number 5. You want to talk about this newest iteration of the Animals and how you guys have formed together for the finals coming up?
So a lot of things happened. I can't say because of personal issues, but some of us like had to depart. But overall, like we just asked around to see if anyone wanted to fill in. And we got Boris and 420 Blaze It. And basically, they're like, we just asked them, right? We just whispered them, you want to play with us? And they said, sure, why not? We're free. So it wasn't anything like too fantastic, but yeah.
Well, I mean, to come together in such a short time, I think you guys have done really well from what we've been able to see. How has the dynamic changed with these new players coming in? You didn't have much of a rapport with them before. Bringing in 2 new faces, new personalities to a core structure already is always a challenge. How has that been for you guys?
Uh, it I wouldn't say it's been too difficult. Like we all came in with the intentions of like having fun, like playing
Mm-hmm.
together, have fun. So like we're not like too focused on like winning. Like we still want to win. It's just like we're trying to like be lax about it, you know? We don't want to like hurt each other's feelings over this, but Like when they came in, we were fairly friendly at the start, and we're still like we're like really good, nice to each other. So the whole team dynamic is kind of weird. Like we're just really good friends with each other, and like I don't think anything is gonna like break us apart, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. Like you said, you guys are 2000, or you and Toby in particular, 2017 Heroes of the Dorm winners. Didn't drop a game that entire tournament. And you transitioned into the competitive scene. You were a strong contender in phase one of the Open Division with the UTA roster. And you made some waves in phase two, like you said, you were able to put together a roster in time. How has the overall amateur scene, in your opinion, developed over the course of HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series inception, the first phase of HGC Open Division to now? Like, how do you think that's changed?
I'm gonna say this in comparison to what we played against in phase one or the first Open Division season.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people like grew as players. I'm trying to think of like a good way to say this, but I think the overall level of Open Division, even though there hasn't been a drastic increase of skill level, I think in total there was like a noticeable difference in skill. Like the player pool got a lot higher, like the skill player pool got a lot higher. The meta changed where it's like you actually have to be smart to play the game now. It's like you can't rainbow faces in, So I just think the overall like amateur scene is continually evolving, and like I think that's a good thing for the scene. So it's nice to see how much change is happening in like HeroesHype, Open Division, etc., so forth.
I'm really glad you mentioned HeroesHype because I have this working theory that, phase one Open Division, it's a wake-up call in a lot of ways, I feel, to the amateur players to have a direct on-ramp to the pro level. Last year, it's just like, you have these regionals. If you don't win the spring one, you can show up next time in a few months for the summer. But there's a more direct structure. But on top of the HGC Open Division, I really like what the folks behind HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series in particular have really been able to bring to the amateur scene, because it brings that sense of tournament level competition. It's a far more serious endeavor than just scrimming. Would you agree that things like HeroesHype have helped be part of that equation to grow the overall amateur scene?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, because like I haven't been playing in like amateur tournaments for the past X amount of months. Like I just recently started going back into HeroesHype. I would say like from my experience up until right now, like for the short amount of time I've been in HeroesHype, I'd say yes. Like it's a good way to like experience like tournament formatting. Like it's a good way to like experience like this game matters. Like we can't just like screw around or like throw this game off because we don't feel like it. So I think it's a overall like HeroesHype makes a good like experience for the players if they want to like try to go into Open Division. The way I see it is like if you're like a group of people that think that you're good at the game, like I think HeroesHype is like a good like metric to use for yourself to see like if you're actually ready to play in a competitive setting, or if you have the right mentality to play in a competitive setting.
I agree. I definitely agree. It's really cool to hear your insight on that. Going into this series of HeroesHype Tempo Storm Series, our third go round, we have 8 very strong teams going in this year, and you're in the top 3, a deserved spot for sure. Are there any teams in particular going into the finals that you've been looking out for, that you've done research on, that you're preparing for? Does any team stick out for you?
The only team that really puts a thorn in our sides is probably Team Numerics, just because they have fast. Like if you watched Open Division, even like Heroes had to ban Cho'Gall against them, and that just shows you like how annoying like their Cho'Gall players are. So it's just like if you're forced to have to ban Cho'Gall because their Cho'Gall is that good, it's just like what do you do? Like, but I feel like they're the only team that we both historically and like right now feel like is like the only trouble that we might face.
That's fair. It's definitely fair. I feel like for the animals, one of your biggest strengths are the core structure that you have with your brother and droplets. We've seen you guys act as a strong trio for a while here with the animals roster, and you have 2 new folks coming on. What would you say is your personal or your team's biggest strength going into the finals?
I think our biggest strength right now, as a lot of people I don't think they recognize. I think our biggest strength right now is having like a dependable solo laner, which is droplets. Like a lot of the meta right now revolves around like having like a double frontliney or a double supporty kind of thing. But I feel like it's really necessary, like really vital, to have like a dependable like off laner or slash solo laner, because he pretty much, in my point of view, he pretty much sets the pace of how the game should go. Like if you have like a Malthael at top lane that straight up loses, like your team has to make up for so much for that. But like with a person like Droplets who doesn't fail to like deliver what he's good at, like it's really refreshing and reassuring to have on the team.
I gotta agree, and that's definitely a standout feature that I feel you guys have. I feel like in general the role of solo laner can be something of an unsung hero. I agree with you. It opens up a lot of opportunities if they can even get a takedown up top and force out a rotation from the enemy team. That, if even passively, has a huge impact on the array of options the team has. On how they can rotate things. So I'm really glad that you see that as a strength as well. To anyone that doesn't yet have a team that they're backing, that they're rooting for going into the finals, I wanted to see if you had a few words on why someone should become an Animals fan going into the finals.
I don't know. I don't know how to self-promote myself, but I hope like to the people who have been rooting for me and Toby for the past year, I hope they keep supporting for us and rooting for us, even though we've split ways with like Kira Huge. Like since we're on Animals now, I hope they can continue to support us and support Animals. Even though this team was made for fun and for like just to play around with, I still believe that like we are decent enough to be taken seriously. So just because I said we're not tryharding doesn't mean like we don't want to win. So I hope people realize that, and I hope people like, I'm a huge fan of Droplets. Like he's been my friend for a while, and I hope people see like how good of a player he is. He's a fantastic player. He's a good friend. And I hope more and more people realize how good he is as a player, and I hope more people support him. But yeah.
I agree, man. Big shout out to Droplets. I'm going to self-promote for you for a little bit here, Kevin. I think you're one of the most humble, even-keeled people that we have in the scene. I had a chance to speak with you at HeroesHype Live, and you really went into detail on how a lot of your competitive endeavors is to help see to your brother's success, Toby. I thought that was a really cool aspect, that part of your drive is to help see your brother succeed. So for you to also give a shout out to Droplets and say like, I hope people support him and I want to, hoist him up in some ways as well, I think it's really cool. It's a very selfless gesture, and I think that's really respectable, something to be commended and something that's easy to root for. So I think you're going to have a lot of fans in the audience come to the finals. People shouting Los Animales and everything else in the chat. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I know you say you guys formed together for fun, but you're a competitor. You have that want to win. So even if it's your definition of for fun is a lot more serious than I think some people may think, hearing that on the surface level. So I know you guys are going to show up and put your best foot forward and definitely try to come out on top. I'm looking forward to it, man. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
That's all.